Hi, Genki Call here with your Soulforge offerings for the week of, September 26, 2022. Ah, so I'll show you what we have here, and then I'm going to show you what's left in the Mythic cycle. There is not much left, but let's go through this. For the legendaries, we have a Borith, which is a terrible, terrible troop. For a legendary, he removes all gems. Like, if there's a ton of mana on the board for your enemy that you don't want them using, or skulls that you don't want them using, I can see clearing the board. You get absolutely nothing from it except denying mana to or skulls to your enemy. Heals back to full, gains some attack. He's not totally useless, but he's not that great either. Um, he has a use. It's just there are other troops that do it better, in my opinion. I'd rather just blow up the board personally. Shadow Dragon, also not amazing. Poisons all enemies, which means you could run this troop with Scorpius. Does true damage to a random enemy, and transforms yellow gems to purple to boost the effect. So there is, and it feeds back into itself, although it takes away the yellow, but you do get bonus purple mana from purple gem matches and get some extra attack when you match purple gems. The Dragon Soul. The Dragon Soul is fun. Really fun. The downside of the Dragon Soul is the mana cost, which is pretty high, but explode a 21 for me, random gems, deal 8 damage to all enemies boosted by the number of dragon allies, an extra 3 for each dragon ally, and then gain 15 souls. So if you need mana generation and you happen to be soul farming or needing some extra souls at the same time, or you're doing an event, it's pretty fun to use Dragon Soul. And 50% chance to become a baby dragon with full mana upon death. So next up we've got Soul Zara. Soul Zara is amazing when you're fighting high level. Like I was using Soul Zara during roulette, the roulette challenge, and she actually just decimated the E12 because if their life is greater, deal triple damage. Plus you get a bunch of souls out of it. So yeah, I mean, that triple damage is pretty significant. And she is a necromancer, which means bonus souls from the battle. Yeah, she's much better than people give her credit for, I think. And that is it for the legendaries. But then we have the mythics. So, would I recommend crafting any of these? No, I would not personally recommend any of them. But if, for instance, you need Solzara for Groshnak for your power level, that would be a reason. Or if there is a team that you're dying to try out with one of these, it is totally personal preference, but 800 diamonds for any of these troops just seems really steep to me personally. So, as far as mythics go, we've got Suna. Suna is really good for long, drawn-out battles because she steals life from the weakest enemies. She steals magic from the strongest enemies. And so every time she casts, this is going up by 16. Ah. So you can just keep casting with her, stealing their magic and tanking up, getting tons of life. But that's for long battles. She does Fairy Fire a random enemy when matching red gems. That means if they're Fairy Fired, they're going to do an extra 50% damage with that steal life. So this is at 40, you do an extra 20 damage just from the Fairy Fire. So it's pretty nice. Champion of Guard. Now, the Sword's Edge mythics are not considered to be amazing. They're considered to be pretty bad, but I have been hit by this guy in PvP enough times to know that I would much rather have him than Champion of Anu. A Champion of Anu is still coming up. I'll show you in a minute, but I don't have any Sword's Edge mythics. I am power level blocked at 9 there, so I am going to be crafting this guy. Gain a bunch of armor. If there are 13 or more skulls, you get double that. Then create a mix of 22 blue and red gems. Just really, really tanky, and he has spell damage reduction by 50%, skull damage reduction by 60%, and all red allies gain 1 to all stats at the start of each turn. So, I don't think he's terrible. Like I said, I've been hit by him enough times to know that I want him. Um, and I really need him for my power level. You can stick around at the end of the video. I'll go get my power level up at Sword's Edge. Mwahaha. Come on, I'm hitting the button. All right. Next up, we have... Now everything moved around. Pan. Pan, I like Pan a lot, actually. Does damage to 3 random enemies, knocks them to the back, so it will mess up the order of their team. This is what I love. All wild folk allies gain 1 life and magic when matching 4+ gems. So you run this guy with Beatrix, who is a wild folk, and her damage keeps going up and up and up because you keep getting more and more and more match 4s because you're using Beatrix, and it's really fun for me personally. I like Pan a lot. And then the Archdeva, and choose an ally, give them attack, life, and armor, and fill their mana. Can only be cast once, but you cast it on the first slot. They tank up hugely. And then you also have barrier and bless a random ally when matching 4+ gems. So even though he can only cast once, there's still this third trait, and he's actually quite useful on the right team, especially for something that has a boost off of their life armor and attack. There are troops that do that. So, so that is it for This Is Always Here. That's it for the Thingamabobber Doohickey. So let's head on over to this. Thank you, King Ollie, for doing this every week. You are amazing. These are all of the mythics that are left in the Soulforge cycle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Is that 9? 1, 2, 5, and 4 is 9, yes. So there are only 9. So next week we'll get 4 of these, and the week after we'll get 4 more, and then we'll have a bunch. We'll have a bunch of new ones. We'll be starting a new mythic cycle in 2 weeks. So if there's anything you desperately want, like, for instance, High King Irongut may be coming in 2 weeks. Or 3 weeks? Anyway. These are the ones that are left so that you will be informed. And then let's head over to the weapons. We have something very significant here in the weapons if you do not have it yet. And that is the rope dart. This is so powerful. You can win a battle with the rope dart alone. Eliminate all armor from an enemy, do damage to them, pull them to the first position, and you get an extra turn, and you entangle that enemy if you have it fully maxed out. So it is incredibly powerful. I highly recommend crafting this if you don't have it, because it's just that good. If you have a choice between a mythic this week and this, I would go for this. This is going to be useful always, whereas a mythic is situational. You don't want to miss out on rope dart because things will come back to the Soulforge. You'll randomly pull things from keys, but this is only available when we're in Pride Lands. So that's my advice to you. Craft this if you don't have it. The Beastly Bow, let's see, damage to an enemy boosted by beast allies, then create a mix of 6 green and yellow gems for each beast ally. It's a good weapon for an all beast team. Absolutely. Beast is for Warden class. And then we've got the Cat's Paw. Damage to an enemy boosted by Pride Lands allies. And this is green and red, which could work pretty well here. And then we've got this one of the 75 diamond cheapo ones, which will remove red gems, so deny them to your enemy. You don't get anything out of it except boosting your spell. And then, of course, if they're for Pride Lands or if the battle is in Pride Lands, do double damage. Then we have the Black Mane's Claw, which I considered using in this week's event. Damage to an enemy boosted by Rockshot allies, then create a mix of 6 red and brown gems for each Rockshot ally. I just didn't find The red was very useful, but the brown really wasn't for me when I was looking at it, so I decided not to use it. But it's an option in here as well. And if you need twin claws, oh, I love this weapon. Twin claws is awesome. Ah, I love this. Rope dart, absolutely. But if you're like me and you love the explodey weapons, absolutely consider crafting twin claws because I love these weapons. And this one is really fun to use with the Hatir and Scroll team that I made. I'll link that at the end. I'll put up a thumbnail to the Hatir and Scroll team. But explode green gems, random status effect to all beast allies, and then summon a boost troop. So beast troop. So anyway, I guess that is it. I guess that they're just going to leave this here forevermore. It was supposed to come out of the Soulforge. It was supposed to trick and treat. It was only supposed to be here for like 2 months, and they never took it out. Anyway, Shadow Hunter's Claw, I forgot to mention this. This just came into the game recently. This boosts literally Shadow Hunter. So you get damage to the first 2 enemies, and if Shadow Hunter's on the team, gain 5 attack. And then it bleeds and that kind of thing too. So, yeah, so that is it for the Soulforge. My recommendation, absolutely get Rope Dart. Consider getting Twin Claws as far as the things go here. My personal preference would be Pan and the Archdeva. And now, as I promised, let's go and upgrade Sword's Edge! Okay, it was at level 9. So just getting the Mythic is going to boost me right to level 16. That's incredible! Ah! I'm so happy! And now I'm pet blocked, but still super, super happy. I'm up from 9 to 16. That's awesome. So that is the power of crafting mythics that you don't necessarily want. You get those power levels up. Anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you folks soon. Bye-bye!